Oh shit, is it fucking working? Is it? Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? Am I too loud? Oh my God, I can't wait to get feedback. Immediate feedback. This is awesome. Okay, let's see. I see Rock Chalk True Crime. Hello, Rock Chalk. Hello, Witch Shiza. Hello, Raven. Hello, everybody. I'm going up. Let's see who's here. Jeanette Lawson. What it do, girl? JN. Hello. StreamYard Duck. I see you. Hit the like button. Yeah, do that if you want. If you don't like it, though, hit dislike. I want honest feedback. If you're like, fuck this bitch, hit down. Also, I feel like since it's late night, I'm allowed to curse. Check out that vocal fry. Oh, thank you, Jeanette. You're so sweet. I'm also here because left my touch DNA. I'm also here because I took Robitussin. I've been having some pretty bad allergies. My psoriasis around my nose is real bad. That's pretty cool that it's HD and I could see that. Oh my God. Fact, just like John O'Keefe, I got bit by a dog when I was 8 years old. And it was a basset hound. It was over 40 pounds and it grabbed me by the nose. And when I stood up, it ripped part of my nose off. Isn't that fun? Do I have psoriasis around my nose? Do you? Because so I get it wherever there's a scar. So see, I have scars here and here from where that dog attacked me. And it had to get shots because it was like acting weird. I think it ate a bat or a squirrel or something. And the owner was like, oh, it's in that room. Don't let her in there. I was being babysat. And the dog's name was Morgan. I immediately went in there and was like, hey, Peppy. And then it went, oh, and yeah, that sucked. So, yeah. Can you guys hear me or am I just telling a story to myself? I just want to make sure y'all can hear me. You guys can hear me. Missy, you didn't get them late. If you can hear this, I still don't know. This could be like last night and I'm recording and I have no idea. Again, that's where the oblivious comes in. To see me. Are you seeing me? Is it showing me very well? Oh, good. Yay. Hello, Texas Panhandle girl. Hello, Missy Blue. Hello, Raven. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Rochelle. Hello, Gonzalez. Hello. Man, this is cool. Can hear you well. Excellent. All caps. Love that enthusiasm. And look, I wore a family heirloom today. This bitch chain has been in my family for generations. I wore that for you. Everything is well here in Florida. Good. Excellent. Rock Chalk giving me lots of eyeballs. Hey, girl. This is cool. This is my home. This is my home office. It's filthy. Hi. I'm so excited to have you guys. Anyway, oh yeah, I was talking about psoriasis to someone. Yeah, anytime I get a cut or a wound, like one of the reasons my eyebrows are really bad is I have a lot of scar tissue built up. I get psoriasis in here. And it and all over my head and my elbows, you can see, oh my God, that's disgusting. Let's look at it together. What do you guys think of wounds? Look at that one. Oh my God. Just horrible psoriasis. Hi, Jamie's Cowboys. We're talking about our skin conditions. Aberdeen, Washington here. Ooh, I love Washington. Aberdeen is up by Courtney Love territory, girl. Hey, Prairie Sage. Hello. I see you. I hear you. Anytime I pick at my nose, I get super flaky nose skin. Yes, me too. It's horrible. Like this, I could just probably scratch this off and you wouldn't even see it. But it's this and especially creases, psoriasis and eczema. What my dermatologist said a long time ago, they love to live in creases. Ladies, when I tattooed, which yes, I've had over 30 jobs, trust me, people. But I got carpal tunnel, so I couldn't do it anymore. It was terrible. But when I tattooed, creases always hurt everybody. So when I got my sleeve done and they tattooed in the crease of the armpit, I said, abandon half the tattoo. I can't handle it. And if there's nurses in here, my nurse friends have told me it's because that's where hair doesn't grow, And when I tattooed, we would always tell people that's probably the hardest part to keep clean and to keep make it heal properly. It's hard to heal. So if you have psoriasis or eczema, creases, it's just live with it, dude, because it's never going anywhere. Yeah, I don't really use Discord that much. And there's a reason. And it's because when I typically over the past probably about 5 years, I've done some contract work, a couple of times a year for some production companies that deal with, let's just say, live streaming, because I'm in a lot of NDAs and you can't say that much. But what I can tell you is that one of my jobs is to kind of skip trace digitally people's internet footprints who are torrenting or streaming illegal content. Let's just say that. And it sucks because I'm all about keep it free and tell everyone. But sometimes you, just like a defense attorney has to deal with clients that they might not think, maybe are the best clients, or maybe they don't want to have to defend someone who did something so awful. Sometimes when you're working contract jobs for stuff like OPSEP, cybersecurity, anything that really has to do with helping, especially in DMCA takedown copyrights, that you have to do stuff that you don't want to do. It just sucks, but it's shitty. It's like having to pull over your friends, And anyway, my job is to spend almost all my time in Discord under a shitload of sock puppet accounts from this production company. I can't say what, I can't say who. It's never going to be listed anywhere. No one's ever going to know it's me. But it just sucks because it's literally just kind of like watching TV that you don't get to pick out, like being forced to watch something that you're like, okay, this is what's happening now. And then simultaneously having to sit in Discord and watch people be like, I banged your mom. I banged your mom. Hey, check this out. Her tits are jiggling. And you're just like, Jesus. And then in some of the Discords, they're very unhinged. And I've seen some of the most disgusting, disturbing behavior that I've had to tell my employer, like, yo, we need to ban them. If they have to hand over IP addresses every day and be like, well, or at least when I'm doing that. I haven't had to do that actually in a few weeks, so that was nice. But even like if I have to do it once or twice a year, sometimes that specific job, it's like I spend so much time in Discord seeing just the worst shit. And I have friends who've worked for Facebook who have to do that with like the advertising and the when people report stuff. They spend all day just watching like puppies and kids getting abused, and it's like, oh my God. And they have to just be like, nope, can't have that, And that was before they went into a bunch of auto moderation. But a lot of those people who used to do that job, yeah, they have to go to therapy and shit like that. It's bad. And so, yeah, it's like, yes, it's like being a secret shopper. When I was banking, they would try to trip us up and then we would get either praised or punished. Yeah. It is like being a secret shopper. And I worked at Starbucks once. Actually, not once, like 5 times. I just kept going back because I really loved it. I know a lot of people talk shit about Starbucks. Let me tell you something. I haven't worked there in about 10 years, but when I did work there, oh my God, they treated the employees so well. Like it was one of the best companies. You get full medical and dental the second you started working there. They pay a fair wage. Oh my God, the bug is back. The fruit fly problem, by the way, is under control. One of you guys sent me some advice on what to do, and it was essentially kind of what I was already doing, but add sugar, I think, to the mix, and it worked. And it was like apple cider vinegar, and then what's it called? Stupid basic words. Dish cleaner, apple cider vinegar, a little bit of water, and some sugar. And yeah, now all of a sudden, Fruit Fly City, dude, they're dead. They're fucking dead. It feels amazing. I'm celebrating that. Yeah, Discord is usually very orderly, Rock. I agree with you. It's actually a really sick ass forum. It reminds me of old Pastebin, but easier to navigate. It also reminds me of old Reddit. I mean, new Reddit's pretty awesome too. It's like I see people talk shit about Reddit all the time. It is Discord. Like it's literally Discord. That's all it is, with more independent moderation controls. It's literally the same. If anything, they could have sued them. It's about what Discords are allowed to exist and what subreddits are allowed to exist. And if enough people report it, it gets taken down, and it's the same. So when I see people talk shit about, I mean, 4chan's pretty fucking awful, but if you actually go through it and kind of avoid things like the B forum and all the like naughty stuff, it's really just a huge archive of like anime and hobbies. It's the people that choose to exist within it in certain parts of it that are disgusting pieces of shit. Okay, let's keep going. Say hi. Glitter is forever. Hello. Jessica Frick. I'm thinking Bitrol is innocent. You know, people can think, you can think that that's cool. I've seen a lot of people say that. I saw, you know what? I'll tell you something that made me think that. I'm kind of more on the fence than super guilty. I don't know how to explain it. I think he's guilty for sure, but parts of me I still wonder about things, and I need to explore the minor amounts of skepticism because I'm starting to see more unbelievable shit in society in the news, especially with Karen Reed. That is so psychotic. Like the amount of um I guess disruption in the system and ability for the tiniest little mundane thing to really just destroy a person's life. The amount of misunderstandings, the amount of manipulation, the amount of corruption that has been going on, everything from James Burke in New York to fucking Karen Reed in Boston to the Maya trial. Like when we see these kinds of little stories that we go, wow, what a unique and crazy story. Who would have thought? All these twists and turns. Oh my God, they had the wrong guy. I mean, look at the yogurt shop murders. Those fucking kids did not do that. Everyone in Austin knows that. Like, RDA was a drunk psycho, but the one thing that she did do by freeing them was yes, because now they can go find who fucking did it. I can't think of, but they legit these people went to jail for a long time. The San Antonio Four, those women, satanic panic and people hating the gays made them go to prison for 10 years. And the person who sent them there was their psychotic stepfather who himself molested kids. So, these poor women, just because they happen to be gay in the 90s, ended up going to prison. If you don't know about that, look up southwest of Salem, because their father-in-law or stepdad hit on them, on one of the four women. And because they did not reciprocate the abuse, nor would they take it, he turned them in to the police and said that they were molesting their nieces and nephews, or their nieces, I mean. Years later, the nieces are like, no, actually, he's the bad guy. Like, it was, and I met them at a South by event with also Edward Snowden was there, and we got to talk to him through like a satellite. That was pretty cool. And then the West Memphis Three. Those are, because of stuff like that, even the tiniest situation that could prove someone innocent, I have to acknowledge. That's my point. So with Bitrol, I'm never going to say 100%. I've said it, but I'm never going to say it again because there are things in the last couple of weeks that make me go, oh, yes, absolutely. But then I was looking at Facebook the other day, and I'm trying not to dox anybody, but what I like to do is I like to go back, especially if it is a case where, oh, hello, Nicolette, Suffolk. I have questions. So I like to go back on a case, and I like to, especially if it was going on in the age of the internet, whether it was MySpace or now, and see like if I can find a cache of anything that is historical reference that I can look back on. And in this case with Bitrol, when he went to jail, Facebook was actually the shit. It was before Instagram took off and before TikTok became a huge thing, back when I think it was still Musically maybe. And this was, keep in mind, this was like when Delphi happened. That was, I think, like, what was it, 2 or 3 years after Bitrol. So everything involving him from the day that he got called the guy, Lisk, because at the time, remember, they called him Lisk, until now, as far as conversation in his close hometown area, his friends, his family, that's all still available on Facebook, that which hasn't been privatized. And I'm a Snoopy dupe. I'm very nosy. So I went back and I was looking at the day the court hearings happened for him, because not a lot of it is available online. When he goes in and says, I want to file for an appeal, the second it starts going through the appellate process, a lot of public records can halt, especially when it's like discovery evidence and things like that. It's really kind of up to them to give it out to us. And I'm going to go back and read some of this in a minute after I finish my rant. Hold on, let me have a sippy. But it's really hard to find that. So you kind of have to rely, in his case specifically, And also, I think the judge sealed a lot of that stuff. So anyway, the original records involving that court case, very impossible to get, especially because it's actually still kind of considered an ongoing investigation, even though he was found guilty. And that is because his defense, I believe, filed to have certain DNA tests done and investigated. And because they were investigating those DNA tests, everything got put on pause. So it's really, really, hello, Liverpool. Hell yeah. What time is it there? 5:15 a.m. Oh, you answered me. Yes. Oh, wow. Are you up early or staying up late, girl? What's up? What's up, Kinsey Kush? I like your name. Anyway, it's hard to get court records in Bitrol's case. So I went back on Facebook and I'm like, let's go look at what the reporters said, kind of Karen Reed style. Let's go look at what they said in the comments under the news stories, because also that's a big thing up there that's big here is the news reporters themselves. When they're doing a live, they'll pop in after and they'll answer questions. So I started doing that and I noticed Timothy Bitrol. I don't know why I said it like that. It's because you said Liverpool. Timothy, he was responding to all the old news articles and he never took those down. So, little fact, if you want to go back and see someone complain and has some shit to say, go look at Timothy responding. And yes, I did, Cindy. We'll get to that in a second. Go look at Timothy responding to people talking about Bitrol in public forums, especially Long Island ones. He does not use his regular name, by the way, but you'll find him. There's one thing that makes me step back on Bitrol. It is, I am 99% there. There is a 1%. And that 1% is they said something that in the court case, it was reported on the news that to this day is still repeated as a big reason that it couldn't have been tainted, that it couldn't have been a setup, that he couldn't have been Karen Reeded, aka Bitrol. And that quote came directly from a forensic analyst, apparently, from the court case, which if we had the fucking records, we could see, but we don't have them. And there's also no footage of the trial. So this person reported, this person who worked for the news there in Long Island reported that Bitrol, one of the biggest things that they used from the jury's perspective to convict him that day, they said, oh, he's getting convicted because of this one thing. It was the fact that the bodies of the women, or the women were basically semen that was on them would have had to be deposited within 30 minutes of their death. And they said they figured this out forensically. So it's not a crime to be a client of a toot. We call them toots, of a prostitute. It's not like, it doesn't make you a murderer. You know what I mean? Because you are a John. And it doesn't make you a murderer because you had sex with someone who had a lot of sex that day, because it was their job or any other reason. But if you were the last person to do that, and that fluid is mixed in with these specific wood chips that he had at his house, and if the person would have had to have died within 30 minutes of that deposit of seminal fluid, there's no way in fucking hell Bitrol didn't do it. There's no way. Absolutely not. Because the person who did that to them, who killed them, did it post-secretion. So anyway, the thing that they said was basically the women died within 30 minutes of that secretion. If that is true, that makes him the killer. Timothy went in and said, I was there. They did not say that. Now, I was like, well, how far did this go? Did just this reporter say this, or did lots of reporters see this? The other reports from that initial one, they were the first one to break that story, the specific news station. The other reports came within 30 minutes to an hour after that one, every single one I looked at. So were they reporting based off this reporter? Because they weren't saying our sources. They were saying sources say. So someone in the courtroom said that. And then the whole world runs with it and says, okay, he had to do it because of this, because within 30 minutes of the secretion, those women were dead. And then jurors never really came out to talk about it that I could find. But jurors were quoted as like anonymous juror says, this is what sealed it for them. But then they would use the exact same quote. When I saw that, I went, that's kind of a big thing, right? It's just kind of a big thing to have a man's life hinge on that fact when only one person reported it, because only one person was allowed to, or I guess only one person took it upon themselves to report that from the courtroom. But then the brother who was also there is like, that's not what's said. Is the brother being biased? Because in a way, the brother is the reason because of the DNA. Well, then it occurred to me after thinking all that, who gives a shit if it was within 30 minutes, right? I mean, they had more than just the seminal fluid, didn't they? They had a lot of wood chips that happened to come from the same place that Rex and other serial killers and Officer Teddy Hart and other cops and anybody who ever did construction on Long Island got their wood from. And because another officer had that wood in their trunk 10 years later, we have to believe that 10 years prior, he intended to long game set up this stranger. Because remember, they didn't find the DNA. It wasn't even 10 years. It was more than that. It was almost 20? This cop would have had to be a fucking psychic. So for that, I'm 99.9, because it's like he would have had to literally look in the future and go, I'm going to get busted. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get popped for these murders one day that I have posed. This cop who was free to do it that whole time and didn't, because he also got in trouble for some other shit. And then you look at the DNA lab. That was another thing. I spent a lot of time looking at Bitrol and this DNA lab, and the DNA lab was corrupt. They wanted to set him up. Do you know why that DNA lab was under investigation? Do you know why the guy who ran DNA on Bitrol was called out as somehow ruining all this DNA and somehow being responsible for the reason innocent people are in prison? Do you want to know what he did to get called a sham in his field, when in fact he was a certified badass in the field of forensic DNA for over 30 years? Do you want to know what he did? He made a gross joke to a female employee with a husband who got pissed off. He said something like, goddamn, Sharon, your tits are going to put an eye out or some shit. He made like a stupid, dirty joke. Is that okay? No. Is it okay to sexually harass coworkers or make dirty jokes? He told one group of women something. I don't remember what it was. I was reading the transcript because it was an internal investigation. And this guy, like, I think he got fired or he was disgraced. Like, a bunch of shit happened to him. And everybody goes, the DNA lab is corrupt. Look it up. Look at that. Look at the people running the DNA. Okay, well, when you look at it, they've had a high success rate, a really great success rate. This one guy talked too much and he was mean to women or shitty. He was just shitty. He was that guy at work that's like, damn, your face getting fat. Like, just says something mean to you, or like, hey, why don't you cool it with the makeup? Your eyebrows look crazy. Like, the dude at work that it's like, don't fucking talk to me right now. Did you see the new hostess? Damn, look at her ass. Like, dude, you're my boss. Like, that's the type of guy. Does it mean that he's going to literally fuck up his entire life over a situation that happened 20 years before? He's actually more likely, in my opinion, to be super fucking careful, because wouldn't you want to be the guy to bust a serial killer? Like, it's almost like Jackson and Unetti's Karen Reed case, or, You know what I mean? If the glove don't fit, you must acquit moment. Like, you want to win. You're in this crappy situation and you want to win. You want to do your best for your client. Your client is the state, and the state wants to know whose DNA is this, because whoever it is the guy who killed these women. So, in an effort to be a baddie, probably get a promotion, do a really good job. Now, whether or not he was a scumbag to his coworkers, that doesn't really change anything, does it? Like, it doesn't really change the forensics. So yeah, it trips me out. I don't really get the whole Bitrol was framed because why? You know, I think multiple people could have, and that's one thing I want to apologize for. Not apologize, just be like, I'm happy to be wrong about this. I told Melanie once, I said, God, I hope Rex did them all. That would thrill me. I would love to be wrong, because then you don't have to worry about there being another serial killer out there, right? So, you know, when it turns out he first of all, did not see Sandra Castilla coming at all. Like, not even a little bit. I didn't think Jessica Taylor would be one of the girls. I really didn't. I just really didn't. I was like, the MO is different. He would have to work backwards. If he did that, he'd be one of the most unique, odd serial killers ever. And he did that. And let me tell you something, did not see that one coming. Didn't see it coming, not one bit. I was wrong. I seriously was like, no way, this dumb Shreky ogre motherfucker. No way would he go from being doing a Rifkin to what he is now. It's just weird. Like, even Rifkin, he escalated and he did it rapidly. And he started out chopping up bodies and then eventually was pouring shit on them and trying to make them disintegrate, and then getting really wild with his drug use with them. And yeah, even like, shoot, Shawcroft, he was a sweaty mess. He went from 0 to 60. They all just kind of started out the same. I think one of the ones that Rex kind of reminds me of now, I guess, would be Dahmer, because Dahmer started out like, let me just kill this hiker. And what did he do? Lop his head off? He was just like, boop. Like, dismembering immediately is so rare. That's just so freaking rare. It doesn't happen. If it does happen, it's like one time and then it escalates from there. You know what I mean? Like, they usually start with animals and all that, but it's not even like the animals, the arson, the bedwetting. That's like the triumvirate. That's actually, I mean, we learned in one of my behavioral forensics classes that's actually probably the furthest from the truth. There's like so many different types of people who have weird, you know, issues in the head that cause them to do multiple different methods, but it's always an escalation. You know what I mean? It's always like a fantasy that they're evolving or fine tuning. But then I was like, maybe I wasn't looking at it right. I mean, maybe he started messy and got cleaner. And then it occurred to me that it all kind of makes sense now. And this is going to sound crazy, but if you're into behavioral analysis, it'll totally make sense. I think that the thing about him that's unique is you can tell that he read, where is it? Excuse me. Everything's a mess. Where's my book? Okay, I lost my book. I had a John Douglas book I was going to pull out and show you that's sick. Whatever, it doesn't matter. John Douglas, one of the best he's Bay. He's King Bay of behavioral analysis. Him, good old Ann. We got Kepler, right? There's one guy that's kind of disgraced because of this California case, but he's a real, oh my God, Jim Clemente, love him. These behavioral analysts, they are so fucking good at what they do, but John Douglas is Bay. He's the Beyonce of behavioral analysis. He's the top guy. He is the end all be all, in my opinion. When you look at Rex and you realize that one of the fathers of this forensic, and yes, Kelt, that's exactly what I'm getting to. They didn't intend, Ann and Doug, they did not intend for their books to be studied by serial killers for serial killers. Just like I don't intend for my information to be fucked with by like stalkers or people with bad intentions. But again, knowledge is power, and they're trying to teach us behavioral traits. And they're trying to teach us about their craft and what to look out for and warning signs, all the things we want to know so we don't Jen Soto, right? So we're not like in that position where we look really bad. But in my opinion, she might be really bad. I don't know. She might be willfully ignorant. I don't know. But that bitch needs to get her shit together. The point is, we want to know what to look out for, right? So by them putting that information out there, John Douglas straight up said, disorganized and organized serial killers aren't what you think. It's not like one keeps a room clean and one doesn't. One is it doesn't literally mean disorganized. It means something totally different. That would be a 9-hour seminar to get into. But essentially, it has a lot more to do with psyche and methodology. In order to know that and to get around it, to psych people out, to make you think you're a disorganized killer or to make you think you're an organized killer, you would have to study it and avoid things. That list that Rex made of the body prep, dispose of the following, it's like a guide of trying to be disorganized while presenting as organized. And then at times, vice versa. It is really shocking to see a serial killer that kind of understood that. And I saw somebody mention BK. He was an idiot. Guy was dumb as fuck. First of all, left a huge digital trail behind him. Second of all, it's not what you think. All the shit that Kohberger or that Coffin Doffer and all them are talking about him. I'll make a Google Trends video to show you they used trends wrong when they were showing people, look, this is proof that he looked into the girls. Yeah, well, you put that information in trends without quotes, Jen. So now you're getting back 30,000 new results. And now you're doxing people. Good job. And then guess what happens? And then the Goncalves family sees an FBI expert say that shit. And they go, oh, wow, he was stalking our daughters. And then when they do interviews, they have that in their head. Well, guess what? She didn't put quotes on her trends search. So she got back a shitload of results that were totally inaccurate. And then she showed everybody watching News Nation how to do it. So now we have a bunch of conspiracy nuts and unhinged motherfuckers with mental illness who want to play detective, going out, looking this information up, going, oh my God, it must have been him. Or even worse, it couldn't have been him because of this trend result. That's not how trends works, ma'am. Prove you were in the FBI at this point because it is hard as fuck to believe. I'm sorry, I'm being rude. I'm live. I keep forgetting everyone's going to see this later. It doesn't matter. I stand by it. Trends is not the way it was presented on TV. That is not how it works. It's not going to log one specific search in Idaho. And no, actually, those accounts on Instagram that she even led the family to believe were him. Guess why they weren't in the search warrants and subpoenas? Because it wasn't him. Papa Roger? Yeah, not who you think it is. Some douchebag from Michigan. Found that day too. Tried to tell him, got kicked out of the group. People don't want to hear the truth. And the truth is, Kohberger was pretty decent. He had a lot of terabytes of shit. He was pretty decent at the internet. Looked to me like a terrible student. The way he treated the women in his class, the way that he treated his friends that they talked about afterwards, the issues that he had, that he rapped about and blogged about and openly communicated, his heroin addiction, The absolute fact that his IP address 100%, I shit you not, connects to an Amazon account and an eBay account and multiple accounts that at one point or another communicated with people about purchasing knives, specifically K-Bar. The fact that he was always fucking jealous he couldn't be a security guard. He was a security guard. He wanted to be a top flight security, and he got in trouble because someone had a heart attack, and then this one guy saved them, and he froze, and then he took off to go help, got there late, and it was in the paper that he did a decent job at that, but it turns out they didn't rehire him because he barely showed up because he was on heroin all the fucking time. He weirded out a bunch of girls, and they have openly discussed his behavior and the things that he has said on dates that, again, mirror a lot of this Douglas talk. He had likes on his old social media that showed that he liked a lot of the same things Rex did, and he studied a lot of the same things Rex did. But let me tell you something. He had something that a couple of people I know have had, and it is called visual snow. And he had it for a very long time. That account is absolutely him. Absolutely him. The night that shit happened, if you think I wasn't already checking it out, I was. The accounts that were supposedly him were literally created from 4chan trolls who said they were going to create those accounts. And then they deleted the thread, but you can still go look it back up on an archive. And then they created them. And then they were reported on the news by Kohberger as being real. And then the family thought they were real. Those were not him. They were absolutely not him. And let me tell you another reason why I'm pretty sure Kohberger is just a dumb fuck who definitely did it. When he would openly discuss these things in his visual snow account, he had a lot of indicators of spiraling. If you remember Charles Whitman, the guy who shot up the tower here in UT Austin, that guy had a brain tumor. He had reportedly experienced some seizures that were leading to very similar visual snow gaps. There, ooh, my dog's snoring. Visual snore down there, snorgums. I have two friends who had epilepsy who had experienced visual snow. I have one friend who had it as a kid, and then it just went away after she got a weird surgery. There are some people who live with it, and it's horrible. And it affects their life and their behavior. He apparently had it pretty fucking bad, and he was coping with it using heroin and kratom. That shit, kratom, and some of the other things that he rapped about using, some of the things that he discussed in forums, like ketamine, what that does to you if you have brain seizures. I mean, shit, I'm an advocate for medical marijuana by all means, or recreational. I don't give a shit. That stuff doesn't kill you. But there are some people with some serious issues, whether it be mental health, behavioral health, whatever it is. They have issues where when they smoke that shit, it makes them crazy. It does make them react differently. We're not all the same. We're snowflakes. We're all different. But the point is, this dude experimented with a lot of drugs. He lost a lot of weight rapid fire. That's another thing that I don't think people touch on enough. A lot of serial killers have a form of body dysmorphia, some sort of eating disorder. They are either really, really big or they were bullied for being tiny. I definitely think that there are different things, whether it be addictions or things that they experience in life that have to do with various kind of issues that they're dealing with that can help, but can also hurt in other ways. I feel like Kohberger, he lost a lot of weight after getting off of heroin, apparently. He's now taking on a lot in a town where it's full of attractive college kids. And he has to basically go from being a waiter to being the manager. So you can't go party with people afterwards. And even if you could, they wouldn't invite you. And he's probably dealing with being across the country and having a lot of issues, apparently. Excuse me. I don't know what they are, but that dude was going through something. He lost a lot of weight. You could tell in his eyes something's going on. He's got seppuku eyes. That's not a can he be convicted on that? No. But you saw the way he talked to that cop. There's something going on there. He's got a reported history of having severe visual snow to the point that he wants to suicide himself. Like, dude writes rap songs about having fried okra. Love it. I don't even know what that's in reference to. I just looked over at the chat for the first time. I've been ranting, you guys. Oh my God. Sorry, I'm going to go back and read these in a second. I just want to say something about Brian Kohberger. That dude is so the opposite. Like, if Rex studied John Douglas, then Brian Kohberger studied Live PD or the First 48. Does that make sense? One studied the TV version of forensics, and one of them took the forensics classes. And oddly, it's not the guy who took the forensics classes. The guy that took the forensics classes, it seems, is actually the guy who's operating like he watched the first one. Like, he didn't think of the basic shit. First of all, the sheath was under the girls. The sheath was under the girls. And they were able to say without a doubt that these wounds match up with a K-bar knife. What are the odds that a sheath is under the girls? And they don't own a knife. They don't own a knife. But Kat, there's 2 other DNA profiles that are there. Guess what? That's a college house with hot chicks in it. There's going to be a lot of DNA in that house. There's going to be a lot of DNA in that house. There's going to be a lot of DNA in that house. There's going to be a lot. I just looked over H. Cook. That's actually a really funny point. Yes. He should have made a list. That's the one thing that Brian did better. Well, actually, we don't know if he made a list because that could be what's in that could be what's in those terabytes. You feel me? Rex is a fucking older dude. He's going to write things down and then he's going to type it in his old computer and then he's going to delete it and think it's gone. Kohberger's going to probably encrypt it in some shit like a telegram. You know what I mean? Ow. Psoriasis. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of DNA in that house. There's going to be male DNA in that house. If the male DNA is on a television button in a closet, if the male DNA is on the doorknob of a closet that is not opened, if the male DNA is on the bottom of a male shoe that's in the house that has been there for a while because it's under the women's clothes and under a bathing suit, and it's in the corner and it doesn't fit Brian Kohberger, and it seems to be DNA that also is mitochondrial connected to one of the girls, and it's someone who lives across the country, then no, they don't need to do a profile. The profile should be on things like the murder weapon, right? So if you see a sheath that leads to you thinking, hey, it's under the girls, so that means they would have had to fallen on it, right? Or it would have been dropped and then there was a struggle and then they rolled over on it. And this sheath has DNA to this person who has been using gloves to take out his trash, who owns the car that was seen on the camera, who's Bluetooth connected or tried to connect to their hotspot multiple times at odd hours of the night, and he was not a delivery driver and he had no reason to be there. Sure, he has every right to be. I have every right to scream any slur I want. I could say a slur that could get me banned and canceled forever. I could sit here and I could call myself evil names. I could make threats to hurt dogs and babies. I could be a total dickhead. I could be an absolute monster. I could stand demons and monsters. I could say mean things about God. I could do all these things, but I would be a dickhead. So I don't do it. You know what I mean? This guy chose to put himself at the crime scene by doing what he did. I have yet to see anybody else come back repeatedly with so much proof that they ran recon on these girls. And I do think that stargazing is bullshit, H. Cook. It's just, who you want to see the stars? Just look up. Just look the fuck up. You don't need to get into your car and make a night of it. Just look up. Why are we wasting gas, Brian Kohberger? Bushy eyebrows, exactly. Bushy fucking eyebrows. Allegedly stargazing, Laura. Exactly. Allegedly. I mean, at this point, prove to me you didn't murder them and I'll stop. But like, this dude, he's too fishy, dude. Listen, in order to, let's just talk about, here's why I always say the digital shit leads me to think yes. With Bitrol, there is reason to think no. In one nugget of information, not much digitally. In BK, there is a lot. There is a lot. And she likes, can't see the stars through those eyebrows, baby. Gotta do a little bit. That's why I keep mine fucked. So I can see the stars, you guys. If I get my eyebrows fixed, what if I don't see the stars? What if the moon never mocks me again? What will I do? First of all, if I wish does someone in here have visual snow? Somebody talk about this. Do you look at the stars a lot if you have visual snow at night? Because this guy had it hit him at night. Aren't you always seeing stars at that point? I mean, why would you want to look at more? If everything already looked like a fucking sky full of too many stars, why would you want to look up? Why? I want him to go, what's it called? The eclipse. Go eclipse gazing. Go look up at the eclipse, bruh. Thank you, Mosquito. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna get him to growing. It's gonna happen. I'm really jealous. There's this wrestler named Eddie, and he's freaking awesome. And he has his shaved right here, and it's pretty sick. And I love it. And one day I'm gonna get big bushy Brian Kohberger eyebrows and shave a fucking Eddie thing right here. You have a different kind, Nicolette. Does having visual snow ever make you want to go outside and just look up while you drive? Like, does it ever make you go, I want to go stargaze? I wish I could look up and see perfect, beautiful stars in the mountains. Let me go drive through the mountain. Let me go drive. Do you ever think about getting in a car and operating heavy machinery when it's at its worst? Because I would think it wouldn't be fun. I just feel like Kohberger is giving a lot of bullshit. You know how I knew it was bullshit? It wasn't just the digital stuff. Yes, he did post on Tap Talk and he posted on Data Lounge. And back in the day, there was this thing called Topics Forums, Pennsylvania, baby. Yeah, so the ex-military fella, let me tell you something. That was one of my, that was a big letdown kind of for me. But then I was like, oh, thank God it wasn't, because that guy had a kid, right? It was really sad. Like his family and his loved ones were really sweet people. It really hurt them. So that guy, at first I thought, oh, there's got to be something to this. Turns out a lot of the stuff about that guy, she's talking about I don't know who said that, Kelt, yes. So there was a guy who's ex-military who basically, I think it was that night or the next day, or shortly after it happened, killed himself. And a lot of people were like, oh, that was the guy and that's why it happened. And it was not the guy. He was actually pretty easy to track because what the hell? Sorry, I had some burrito from earlier. Shoot out of my mouth. I'm glad I was on live for that. That guy, his digital trail was trackable. He was reaching out to people using his phone and simultaneously looking at things online. And he also had a gaming account, I believe, that was open. I don't think he was live streaming, but when you have gaming accounts and you're logged in, you can see it, especially when there's activity. And yeah, there was some situation where he barricaded himself inside, but he had an alibi. The family came out and was like, this is really destroying our fucking world. Could you not? Could you not? And then everybody went, okay, my bad. But yeah, That was a whole thing. Oh, it was killed by yeah, was it? I thought it was like either he killed him or what is it called? Suicide by cop or something, right? Didn't he or he threatened it or he threatened and then they came in and killed him. Either way, it was like really sad. He was having a PTSD meltdown, apparently. That's what I remember from that. That was also a long time ago. I think Rock apparently knows, yes. But yeah, the family came out and they said like, "Hey, listen, chill, he didn't do it." And then I saw a report that somebody linked a long time ago on Web Sleuths and it was all about how the police checked it out. And yeah, that was just a really unfortunate situation. And I did think that there was going to be some fruit to that, but yeah, he also had a pretty big online presence. And I did go through that and nothing was connected to them from what I could see. But Brian Kohberger, yeah, so he did the Bluetooth thing, and that was his downfall, in my opinion, digitally. And the situation with that was basically, okay, do you have a Bluetooth thing? Think about anything you have. Do you have headphones? So I have some Bluetooth headphones I use sometimes. When I go outside to toss out the trash, which is probably 15 feet from my door, I take them and I walk out there and my headphones cut off and I can't hear what the fuck I'm listening to anymore. So then I toss it and then I come back in and then it's better, right? The cheaper, and I don't say this to be rude, it's just true. I get cheap ones. I get the ones from China on Amazon, just whatever. Put it in my ear, let me hear it. The cheaper they are, usually the closer the range. So I can't really go, I can go on the other side of the house, but if I go outside of the trash, cuts off, right? If you have things like what are they called, the Apple earbuds or whatever, I don't use those. They go in the ear and it's right, this is in my ear, I can't do it, or I get like flaky skin in them. It's disgusting. AirPods, iPod, earpods, those super long, like you could go pretty far. But even then, my boyfriend has his, you can't go, I think it's like for his, you can't go out to the street. Like once you get out to the street, like once you get probably like 50 yards or something, 25 yards, like whatever the street is, I don't know, 25 feet, 25 yards, basically across a normal street. Yeah. And then they cut off. So you can get double to triple as far as normal ones, right? So in order to try to jump on someone's Bluetooth, you have to be within range, right? His Bluetooth was in close range with an excellent connection multiple times. That doesn't mean he was at the bottom of the hill listening or doing whatever he was doing. That doesn't mean he was even necessarily outside in that little parking lot outside beyond what's her name, Dylan or Brittany's room. He would have had to be right outside the back area, the door, or probably out by the porch area. And if it were the other side, is it 30 feet? Okay, so he would have to be out by where that parking lot is. So he would have had to be within, think about it, 30 feet of that house in order to try to jump on to their Bluetooth. There is not a public store there. He does not have any friends who live there. Don't you think if he did, he would have brought them up? Tried to use them as an alibi, especially if it were true? There is nothing there that gives him a reason to be there. So if he's there, I mean, maybe he was inside partying with them once. We're talking about times when they didn't have parties. We're talking about times repeatedly in the past where his Bluetooth was trying to latch on. I mean, why? They're not having parties at 1 or 2 in the afternoon on a school day, are they? There are things like that that they also don't have to tell us, and they didn't tell us everything. They only gave us enough in that affidavit to tell us what is reasonable to get him indicted. That speaker you mentioned, Dolphin. Yes. Absolutely. And yes, Kelt, I did look into Richard Allen, and I also think he did it. Richard Allen for several reasons, and that one was kind of a shocker, but then when I look back at his shit, I was like, "Oh, damn." When he worked at a Walmart, he creeped out all of his ex-employees, and he said some weird shit to them. Like, Richard Allen also that Keegan thing was a big throw off, though. I wish there's so much I would love to tell you about that, but I can't, because I worked with some people who tipped in some stuff on that, and I just don't wanna yeah, I don't wanna fuck anybody on that one. They're looking into things that have to do with that are let me just say that we tipped in somebody in relation to the Keegan case, and it ended up being a whole different dude who was definitely a pedo, and he was using his own stepdaughter's account, and she had no idea, and she was in another country, and he was there at the Mall of America to try to meet kids. It was disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, no, just the stuff I have on Allen, it's stuff that's been around in the past. Honestly, just go to Web Sleuths. They've already posted a bunch of it. I've posted a bunch of stuff. Let me tell you something. If it's a guy in Indiana who has ever had any weird behavior, yes, he has a Dropbox full of it. I've never seen so many CSAM Dropbox reports. Oh my God. In fact, oh fuck. There's a high school principal, there's a teacher, there's a judge. There are so many cops there that have been busted with insane Dropbox accounts that make Keegan's look like nothing. One of them was a middle school teacher trying to meet a kid that used to fucking teach one of the girls. One of them is a guy that knows one of the girl's cousins. One of them knows one of the other suspects' cousins. Like, literally every single dude in that town who's ever done anything wrong, just consider him a pedo. I mean, shit, dude. What is in the water in Kokomo and Delphi? Because go do this. Google Indiana Dropbox pedo and just look at the thousands of results. A Dropbox account, HCook, is just a storage account. It's like Rackspace. It's just a place you go. It's like Google Storage. You buy storage. And yeah, it's just a place to get free space and to download things that you want to save for later. It's like a cloud. And I don't know why people use it who are planning on doing that, because just like anywhere else, they cyber tip in anything that comes back. Like NCMEC and shit generates, like National Center for Missing Exploited Children, they generate cyber tips from people. And if past content that is considered CSAM is ever logged as being CSAM and used in any court case, any police file, if there's ever a name of a file that's been bad reported to the police, it's going to pop up on a cyber tip, or people can call in cyber tips, or I guess tip it in online. NCMEC collects those. They collect those cyber tips. They send them in. Sometimes, like the Cox brothers down in Florida, they were tipped in by a cyber tip. Simultaneously, Bing itself alerted authorities because they were sharing stuff that had already been logged into the system by groups that work with NCMEC and tell them, hey, this guy doing some pedo shit. People in Indiana get busted that way by putting shit in their Dropbox they shouldn't have, or by a warrant for something else that turns up stuff in their Dropbox. People use Dropbox because it has a shitload of space. It's very cheap for that space. And they used to offer something that was described as being like encryption. But listen, encryption is the new gluten-free. It doesn't fucking mean anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's just okay. First of all, what's gluten? Second of all, it's just a buzzword at this point. Because what encryption means is easier for police to get without a warrant, but we don't work with warrants. That's what encryption means. It means, hey, you can delete this forever, anytime. But can you? Because you'd have to literally go into your user data settings and do that. And most people don't know that. They think they just delete the account and it's gone. Nope. You can reopen that account later, go into user data settings and just download all of it. Fuck it. That's why I'm not worried about Stefan and his Telegram. That guy was too fucking dumb. First of all, here's how I know he was dumb, because he put everything on Google Drive. Oh my God. They like created the cyber tip essentially. Yeah, being naughty, good. Yes, H Cook. Being naughty on technology is stupid. You are going to get caught. And good. You know what? Good. I hope these stupid people keep fucking up. That's what I struggle with. I don't want to teach stupid people to do it right. So it's like, should I talk about this shit? But then I look at my demographics and I'm like, these are a bunch of bad bitches. They ain't gonna do nothing like that. I feel you. The second my demo becomes 20 to 40-year-old males, that's when I'm gonna bail. Because that's what it's like. Yo, y'all ain't here for the right reasons. Norway. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Sinlig. Is it Sinlig or Seinlig? Yeah, that's true. It is too bad that it wasn't known for years. And one of the reasons that it wasn't known for years is likely because I don't think he stored stuff in it for years. It looks to me like he might have panic stored when he deleted all his shit. You feel me? You can take all that TSAM or whatever it is that he has, and you can just upload it, take that user data right out of Telegram, put it there thinking it's safe, put a padlock on it, digitally speaking, put a little passcode, put it as private, whatever, and then delete your Telegram and go, man, they'll never find my Google account. Well, guess what? I also think that because it was likely, I hate saying this, because it was likely original content, meaning it was stuff that he took from his phone, it doesn't have the digital footprint for it to be considered something that is picked up and cyber tipped in, as in he's never been busted for it before, or somebody who has it has not been busted, and that file name or the hash value has not been logged in. So because of that, there's no way for the algorithm to pick it up and go, hey, here you go, Nick, fix this. Here you go, police. That's one of those situations where someone had a dirty ass locker full of dirty ass stuff that had never been uploaded before. So there's kind of no way for them to know it. Now that they know it, if anybody tries to trade a picture of her, they're going to get their door kicked in. And that is the beauty of the internet. And with that said, Internet is Beautiful is one of the best subreddits. If you like Reddit and you want to feel good and not bad all day, go to that, because not only can you educate yourself, because there's so much shit I've learned on it. Oh my God. Like, did you know that there's a website that you can put in, you can log where you've pooped? It's called Places I Pooped. And this isn't an ad. I'm just telling you about cool shit. There's a thing called Places I Pooped. It is an app. I found out about it, I think, on Internet is Beautiful. And then I saw a wrestler talk about it, and I was like, uh-oh, it's going to blow up soon. But you could just, anywhere you poop, you put a ping. Yeah. And then you could see where other people shit. Now, is this something that interests you, my viewers? I don't know. But is it hilarious that that has been thought of and invented? Yes. It's very funny. Think about it. If you want to get the best bathroom, there are reviews. Like, you could go, at least, I don't even know if it's around anymore, but at the time, like, you could read a review. This bathroom's pretty nice. They've got free tampons. Camping, yes. You want to avoid someone else's poop for a pacifist? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, he thought when he factory reset the phone, he was in the clear. Little did he know, it basically made him a suspect right away. Pin where you poop. Pin it. Imagine someone poops on a highway. Anytime I'd see a ping of that, I'd be like, oh, how? You know? Writing the review while sitting on the crapper. Genius. I want to know where the good bathrooms are. You know what I mean? I think it has its benefits. Again, just like any other website, you're going to have the cost benefit analysis. Places you pooped. Internet is Beautiful showed me a page that was, wait, what did Dr. Oz say? He invented the app. He did. Oh, I don't really like that guy, but now I kind of do. Fuck. Oh no, I kind of hated Dr. Oz, but if he did invent that app, do I like Dr. Oz now? It's a good app. Did he really? Who said Rock Chalk? Did he? Oh, you gotta separate the art from the artist. Fuck. For real? Oh, Places I Pooped is so good. I might forgive Dr. Oz for being so unlikable. Shit. It's a really good app. It's very funny. It's very funny. Someone pooped at the DJ celebration. What? I do. I like his creativity. I just don't like him. But he's like Elon Musk. He paid for it, made it, and claimed it his own. Oh, yeah. Ooh, Elon is what a dick. I don't like him. He's in our town, and I don't like it. He's the one he was trying to dump battery acid in our reclamation facility. It's like, dude, we're already trying to turn piss and shit into water. You're gonna make it harder. God. And then everybody in this town pisses Four Loko and like White Class. What are you on your period? What are you on your period? Have you guys been practicing your Boston accents? Your Boston accents? I've been trying so hard. So hard. Wada. It's really hard to learn. And I think the best way is really, I think I've said this before. You have to quote The Departed. People are going to think, yeah, what is it? Peter, get on. How does Lois sound? She's a Peter. Oh, Peter. Trying to think of one of her. Chris, Meg. What's a good Lois quote? Remember when she watches Kiss and then they give her the microphone and she's like, and have a wonderful time. So funny. Yes, Jimmy Fallon and Rachel Dratch, dude. Oh my God, those were the days. That was when they had the cheerleaders. What was that one where it was like taco, burrito? What's coming out of your Speedo? You've got trouble. Oh, you're blowing bubbles. I do have to work on that accent. White Claw makes you pope. Kiwi accent is really hard. What's a Kiwi? Yeah, the Spartans. Oh, what's a Kiwi accent? That would be like, oh, it's really hard to do that one without slipping in Australian. I'm not even going to try that. Are you aware how us Long Islanders feel about a Boston accent? I can't do it. I'm trying. How do you feel? How do you feel? This is how I picture someone from Long Island talking. Department of Labor is concerned about our menstruating persons. It's so hard. It really is hard. They get mixed up. No phone in the bathroom. This is all a foreign language. They all do sound like Jersey, isn't they? And I got a buddy from Dundalk, and he says his D's really hard. I'm from Dundalk. This is how he talks. From Dundalk. I'm like, what the fuck is a Dundalk? Long Island. So my favorite wrestler, I answered wrong the other day. I realized I should have known. It's MJF. He just had been away for a while. And he's Long Island. And his mother is Nina Friedman on Twitter, and go show her love. God, Nina is the best. She walks around Long Island with a shirt that says MJF's Ma. She rules, dude. We had a landline phone and we had a cordless phone, and I'd take it in the bathroom. And my mom would bang on the door, go, you poping? She didn't do it like that. She didn't have that accent. My mom, though, has kind of a weird, she's like she sounds hillbilly Italian, but she's not. She's Polish, but she's like, her side is Polish Mexican and my dad's side is Polish, right? Straight, like my dad talks like this from Borat. And then I have a stepdad who talks like this. And then my mom, when she's mad, she's my mom. And she gets like that. She actually sounds like Lois. And when she's extra mad, she can sound like Boomhauer. Like, dang old shit, fuck dang, man. Like, she shifts in between like a weird Italian hillbilly thing. I don't know. I'm going to keep reading. I wish we had one in the bathroom. If we took the cordless one in there, we were in bed. I was in big trouble all the time, Hound Lover. I was in big trouble. Oh shit, my dog just went. He's great. The Undertaker was, and let me tell you something, Cindy. When The Undertaker popped up at WrestleMania after John Cena behind the bloodline, I almost shit my pants. I was on Rock Chalk stream watching it while it was happening. God bless you, Rock Chalk. But that was the moment when I was like, hey, I gotta go, guys. Because I was losing my shit. Foley forever, yes. I have a Mick Foley, Mr. Sacco on my wall that he signed. He does stand-up comedy. Very nice man. Sweetest man on earth. Literal maybe Jesus. His tooth went through his nose when his ear got ripped off and he fell through it. That man has given everything to sports entertainment. Everything. Fuck, The Undertaker is big. He's so big, dude. So, fun fact. For a while one summer, a couple of years ago, I was like, I need some extra skrill, dude. So I started working for a company called Instacart. And it was still in beta in Austin. So it was like an app. And it was just beginning, right? One of my first orders was to Michelle McCool in The Undertaker. He likes strawberry applesauce. Drop the mic. I should end on that. I'm not going to, but yeah, dude. Thumbtack in the back, right, Jamie? Cyborg Mama, no, said that. Yeah. I do like to see what The Rock has cooking. The Rock was there at that WrestleMania. That's who, The Undertaker, John Cena, The Rock, Cody Rhodes, who, by the way, American Dream, baby. You guys like the American Dream? Dusty Rhodes. I've wined and dined with kings and queens and spent my life on pork and beans, baby. His son, the son of a plumber, the brother of Goldust, against the Anoa'i family, with The Rock at the helm, and a Prince Joffrey-esque Samoan ex-Florida football player who is hot as fuck, named Roman Reigns, who, by the way, beat leukemia. And then these two cousins, the Usos, feeling as oozy as they can feel. The cousins, the baby cousins, now split with one behind Cody. What? The American Nightmare, baby. And the other behind Roman for some reason. It was like when Sammy was in the bloodline. What is this ginger man doing? Oh my God. What a fucking slobber knocker, pardon my JR. What? Which she's a Instacart had you delivered to an animal testing facility? Was it strawberry applesauce? What'd they have you deliver? What the hell? Why did I take so long? Because I couldn't figure it out. Listen, that's the oblivious part. I'm about to say something that's super embarrassing, but I want to be honest with you. There are parts of me that you are going to discover. You're going to go, how does someone not fucking know this? What's wrong with her? I'm not kidding. I did get my head stuck in a door at a Cheesecake Factory. That happened. That absolutely happened. I passed out. I got back up. I went and I got bread from my fucking table because I'm a team player. And then I passed out in the office. But I'm telling you, ever since that head squish, shit's been a bit off. Then I got jumped, stabbed by a gang, knocked the fuck out, had 2 concussions. On top of that, I've had 11 concussions. I'm basically Benoit. I could snap at any day, and I'm sorry. But there are things I don't know. And even before all the head injuries, I was just like this. There are things that are wrong with me. As a kid, I went down the slide at the zoo, and my head said, hey, don't go head first. But my body flipped around and said, go head first, bitch. Live your life. And I hit my head on the fucking wall. I did that. And then I would run at things and my head would go, hey, turn right. Dumbass, you're about to hit that thing. And I just smash right into it. People call that ADD nowadays. I call it being a fucking dupa. And I was a fucking dupa. And I'm telling you, there are things growing up I'm now ashamed of. First of all, my family does this thing where they get you to believe something when you're a little kid, and then instead of telling you they were fucking with you, they just don't tell you and they just let you believe it until you learn one day. They call it a prank. I call that lying. One of the things that they lied to me about to be hilarious was they told me that the Tower of the Americas in San Antonio, they said the Tower of the Americas was built by Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog. Imagine my surprise when I'm at school and I'm told, hey, it's your turn to stand up and give a speech before your third grade class about what you did this summer. And I stood up and I talked about the supreme architectural skills of Miss fucking Piggy and Kermit the Frog. Imagine the reaction of my classmates, and even worse, my teacher, who thought I was just wasting her fucking time. My family then got mad at me for believing them. Now, yes, around the whole family clan, we love laughing at. I say they love it. I'm still pissed. When I was 14, that's when I found out jackalopes weren't fucking real. Thanks a lot, Mom and Grandpa George. Thanks a lot. Jackalopes are not real, you guys. Bunnies don't fucking have horns. Oh, that's another thing. Should have put me in Gifted and Talented. Was finally in high school, but guess what? When I was little, they put me in speech therapy and I almost got put in CMC. Literally, they were like, there's something wrong with her. She's special. Also, I had a bowl cut, a gap, and I said things like this. I couldn't say my oath or my ethics. Yeah, dude. They thought I was hard. Maybe still am. I don't know. Chocolate milk came from brown cows. No, dude, there was almost a race war in my kindergarten class because me and my best friend, who happened to be a black kid, went in the bathroom together because I thought he pooped white and he thought that I pooped black. We weren't allowed to look at each other's poo. We didn't know that. We didn't know. I was dumb. The most embarrassing thing, though, aside from discovering jackalopes aren't real, that Muppets did not, in fact, build this historical building that is not the Alamo, that we must not remember. We don't have to remember the Tower of the Americas. Remember the Alamo, though. A woman, I'm not going to say her name, I'll call her Bonesaw, once tried to fight me behind the Alamo. That's another fact. That has nothing to do with this. I just had that memory. See, Jules, I'm still amazed that milk comes out of tits. I still can't believe that. We make milk? That's something that, like, I'm an adult. I should have had kids by now. I can't have children, but guess what? Super glad milk never came out of my tits. Don't want it to, because I love milk. And if I'm out, I'm going to be the first one to go, and I don't want to be that bitch. Dude, Me Talk Pretty One Day is right there. That's one of my favorite books. I met David Sedaris once. He's also allergic to chocolate like me. And he drew a picture of Abraham Lincoln with something going in his mouth. And it is very obscene, but it is one of my favorite drawings and it made me laugh. And I don't know why he drew that. Texas history is so important, and we were never taught proper Texas history. We were taken to a place called the IMAX and forced to watch a movie called Alamo Price of Freedom once a year. And then we were told that Santa Anna is a snake. And then when you get in high school, eventually you get a drunk teacher who happens to be a coach, because all of the best teachers are coaches. And he happens to teach your geography in your history class. And he happens to be going through a divorce. And instead of teaching you geography, guess what he does? He puts on Varsity Blues every day for an entire semester. And he puts it on the same part. So you're just watching the same parts of the movie Varsity fucking Blues over and over and over again while your teacher screams outside on a Nokia cell phone at his ex-wife. And then when you get in your 20s and you interview new roommates and they go, I'm from Nebraska. You go, what's Nebraska? And then you look like a fucking idiot. Thank you, Coach B. Because of you, I thought Nebraska was a made-up state from the show Full House that Aunt Becky hailed from. AKA, I thought it was parts unknown. I did not realize Nebraska was real. That's how bad public education is. I'm teaching you how to keep your kids safe from predators on the internet, and I didn't even fucking know Nebraska was a place in my 20s. I'm such white trash rock. I lived in a trailer with a hole in the floor for many years as a child. I'm telling you, people would come over and we'd go mine the hole, and they knew exactly what we were talking about because everyone had holes in their trailers. Aunt Becky, remember? She came here from Nebraska. She used to be a news. I was like, oh, this Nebraska sounds great if it makes Aunt Becky's. She's the best. Turns out Aunt Becky's the one who stole a college spot from a kid who deserved it. Yeah, I ended up having 3 roommates after that from Nebraska, eventually 4, all from Nebraska. It's a great place. Some of my favorite people are there. A woman named Patty who makes murals is my old roommate's mom, and she's one of my favorites. I love her. She made me a weird hot dog thing. She called it like a Midwest hot dog. Hate peppers. She put them on there anyway. It was pretty good. She made me like peppers once. Lexi, Central Arkansas. Let me tell you something. Scariest place I've ever been was a place called Arkadelphia. If you know that place, it's by Hope. There is a sign, a billboard there that says, "No loud or profane music, God is watching." And I have never been more scared than driving through there, stopping at a gas station. And I walked into the gas station and there were cardboard cutouts everywhere of Bill and Hillary. Now, listen, I'm not here to get political. I don't like any of them. I hate them all. Hate them all. Don't like any of them. Trump's a loser. Dianne Feinstein was in a cult. They're all pieces of shit. I don't like them. There is something scary about having a cardboard cutout of Bill and Hillary for sale in a gas station in Arkansas. And then a sign that says you're not allowed to drink. First of all, don't drink. But if I'm going to be here, give me the option. And then we drove to a place called Hot Springs. Hot Springs up by yonder way. And there's a Waffle House. Once you pass it, you go left in the woods. You'll see a guy outside a barn. He'll get you some pretty good strawberry daiquiris. If you're looking, that's what the guy at Sonic told us. We said, no, thank you. I stayed at a place called College Inn in Arkadelphia. And no, it wasn't for target practice. Turns out it's because that's where Bill and Hillary are from, I guess. Hope or something. It's like right north of there. It's crazy. It's just scary to have a politician cut out. I don't care who they are. Terrifying. Don't do that. Yeah, dude, Bible Belt's wild. I think the scary part was that in College Inn, there was blood all over lots of parts of the hotel room, and the bed shook, and you could put quarters in them. Now, the cool part about it is the only thing that worked on TV was Curb Your Enthusiasm and wrestling. So I guess if you want good TV, but a shaky bed and blood on the walls, go to Arkadelphia, Arkansas, and stay at the College Inn. Man, Lexi, you're in Hot Springs? That's the place everyone said, if you want a party, go to Hot Springs. I was like, fucking take me to Hot Springs. This place is horrible. Hillary's from Chicago. I guess Bill's from Hope. Who's from Hope? I don't have mods, but if any of you want to volunteer to look up why Bill and Hillary are big in Hope, that was weird. I think they said they were from Hope. Okay. Like how Ted Cruz says he's from Texas. He's Canadian. What do we got? My aunt and uncle driving Trump around with the limo service when it comes out. He is the nicest human. Yeah, I have my own hatred for him, but it's separate. It actually has nothing to do with anything he ever did on TV or anything. But my friend was in beauty pageants. Let's just say that. She was an African-American young lady in beauty pageants. She's a wonderful person. Does a lot for little kids. Works in CPS. He said and did some awful things to her. And I have not liked him since. She told me that, and she told me that 15 years ago when I started comedy. So however long ago that was. And I spoke to someone else who backed that up. And then I worked in comedy with a guy who used to be an assistant of his on The Apprentice, and I'm good. Again, I don't like any of them. I don't like a damn one of them. But yeah, you're never going to get me to praise any of those fucking scumbags. I think the only one I like is that dog mayor and that cat, which, by the way, I have a list. Bill was raised in Hope. Okay. Let's see. I have a list for you guys. Oh, yeah, I wanted to say this. I had to get rid of 2 people on my channel. I had to ban 2 people for the first time ever. And, oh, I see you, Bree. You could be my first mod. I'll figure it out. You get it. You get dibs. You're it. You're it, Bree. Okay. I got to talk to you guys about something. I banned 2 people from my channel. One of them talks shit on boomers and the other talks shit on gays. And let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck how old you are. I don't give a fuck who you fuck. I don't give a fuck what's in between your legs. I don't give a fuck what you want to be called. I don't give a fuck if you're 82. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I don't care if you're white, black, Asian. I don't care. You're welcome on my channel and you do not deserve to be attacked. Okay? And you know what? That includes Christians. I'm not going to Christian bash. I like everybody. I don't care what your religion is. The only people I don't like is Westboro Baptists. I'll be very blatant about that. I don't like Nazis. And if you're somebody from any religion that disrespects women, I'm going to assume that you're a little more progressive than that. If you want to be disrespectful of women, come get these fucking hands. But I'm not going to presume you all are. I'm not going to ever presume that because you're a Christian, you must be high strung or you must be, unaccepting of gay people. Listen, I have so many old roommates who are gay as gay can be, both male and female. And their parents, one of them, parents are pastors of a mega church. The other one, a regular church. Those people love their kids and they support them and they're Southern Baptist as it gets. So I'm never going to sit there and go, oh, you're a Christian, you must hate the gays, or you're gay, you must hate the Christian. Listen, that's like assuming because you hate one, you must like the other. That's not how it goes here. Everybody's different. Everyone's different. And just because someone is over 50 doesn't mean they're less than you. Just because someone's 70 or 80, you know what it actually means? It actually means they lived a lot longer than you, and maybe you could fucking learn from them. Maybe you should try to establish a rapport. Maybe some of the problem in the world is that instead of talking to people, we want to be in a bubble. The only people not welcome in my bubble are people who are super hateful for no reason. Now, if someone gives you a reason to be hateful, that's where the Snoopy Doopiness comes in. We got to go and we got to be nosy. Who started it? That's fun. That's like, okay, let's get into it. Let's go back. Let's discover, because it does matter. If you like Trump, I don't hate you. My parents fucking like the guy. I fucking hate Trump, but I don't hate you. You can like what you want. Guess what else I hate? Contemporary jazz. Does it make me hate you because you love contemporary jazz? No. I just don't want to listen to it with you or talk to you about it. You know what I fucking hate? Psychics getting involved in criminal investigations. If you believe in psychics or you consider yourself a psychic, do I hate you? No. I still love you. Just don't give me any shitty tips based on your dreams. But you're welcome here. I'll talk to you about your poops, all the places you've pooped. 72, cyborg mama, goddamn. You've lived a life. You've experienced 3 times as much as other people in this chat. You've experienced twice as much life as other people in this chat. And some people have experienced more than you. All of your experience is likely different, but all of your experiences are valid. You can lead 100 years worth in 20 years. You can be wise and ahead of your time. You can have makeup collecting on your mouth because of dry mouth, because you have not shut the fuck up in 30 fucking minutes. I don't know how long we've been here. I've been talking. Hold on. I have dry mouth. What is that? It's just bad makeup. It's just crusty old bad makeup. The point is, I don't give a shit how old or young you are. Be nice to each other. Yeah, I know a lot of psychos too, Jules Marie. I'm in comedy. I know some fucking psychos. I know people who say things to me like, respect my kink. I'm into poo play. What? Ew, dude. Don't shake my hand. I'm going to be honest with you. I would normally say I don't kink shame, but I do kink shame sometimes. So get ready for that shit. If you do super weird shit, I might say something. I'm sorry. Listen, we bust all balls here too. Everybody is allowed to get ripped on. I like gays. I like straights. I like everything between. That should be a Cardi B song. I don't care if you're 100. I'm a psychic and I predict that I'm going to be able to pay my bills this month. I predict you will, Cindy. In fact, I'm sending you all my psychic energy, all my positive energy. My point is, I don't want to see people saying shit like, sounds like you're a boomer. No, guess what? Young people can have boomer thoughts and boomer people can have young people thoughts. And you're soon probably going to find the older that you get, in my opinion, this is how it goes. You usually have history repeats itself. Phones used to be big and then they got small and then they get big again and then they got small and now they're getting big again. Shit that used to offend you isn't going to offend you anymore. And then in 4 more years, something else is going to be offensive. Then something else isn't going to be offensive. Everybody used to fucking hate George Bush. And now they're like, oh, look at his cute paintings. Oh, he can paint. I just think everybody should start off on a clean slate. And until you said some dumb bitch shit, don't treat each other like dumb bitches. Treat each other with respect. Let's be nice. And everybody's been so chill about that. But I saw 2 people go at it. And I said, hey, separate. And frankly, they were both being dickheads. So they could both get the fuck out. Because they said hateful shit off the cuff. And when you just pop off like that, it's like, ooh, I'm not ready for you. You're like a Florida parking lot I'm not ready to hang out in right now, honey. I'm going to start looking at chat. I haven't been reading it. I have to focus on one thing or another. God, I love all of you. Oh my gosh. That is cool that he paid tuition for that kid, though, Jules Murray. And it's true. People can do nice things to some people and be total dickheads to others. Grew up obsessed with Madonna, Jules says. Her book was wild. I remember when her book and that Kurt Cobain book came out. Those were the 2 books that parents would come in when I worked at a bookstore. I've worked everywhere. Parents would come in and be like, oh, no, ma'am. No, sir. They sold a lot. I think Madonna's book is worth like a shitload of money now, too. If anybody still has that in chat, listen to me. One of the best decisions I ever made was to get into rare books, antiques, trading things, collectibles. If you are someone who is a collector like me, a hoarder, like some people say, get into that game and start flipping your memorabilia from the 80s and 90s, because let me tell you, those books are worth so much money now. It is crazy. I had an old Butthole Surfer shirt for this album called Locust Abortion. And that shirt was worth $600 during the pandemic. I just happened to look it up. I was going to throw it away. You have Cobain's, but look up how much those books are. Some of those, Susie Sue and the Banshees. I had an old Susie Sue cassette, like in great fucking condition. You can get so much money. The sex book, sealed and unsealed. Look up. I feel like that's the book sealed that goes for a lot. The original Madonna Penthouse. I don't know how much that's worth. The only thing I know about porno mags is we have the China one just because it was like, it's wrestling, dude. Yes, we're going to have it. Not worth that much, but the Bret the Hitman Hart with the AOL computer on the cover. Mwah. That's a good find. Hey, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. I'm having fun. I like this. I like talking to you. John Lennon's book. Holy shit. Swifty Sue, like Susie Sue. Sue. Let me see. John Lennon's book. I wonder, what was his book called? Was it just called John Lennon? There was a book that the guy from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think it was Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's the guy who killed River Phoenix, basically. That book is worth a shitload of money. Undertaker comic book, Cyborg Mama, me too. I found out they're not worth that much. I wish they were. They might be though now. Wait, because he retired. You should look that up. You'd think nobody would pay for it, but the other day I sold my Von Erich family album for $700 on eBay. I'm telling you, people will pay it. And I don't regret that because I had 2 copies. Also, if you ever see a first edition hard copy of the Zodiac hardcover by Graysmith, I mean, you can find them in some random bookstores for like $10. Those sell for $200 right now. Oddly enough, the Russians really want a copy of that Zodiac book. I don't know why, but everybody who bought it from me was Russian, and I had 4 copies. Yeah. And oddly, the not the Phantom Prince. Yeah, the Phantom Prince. I have the original hardcover of that one. I had one from a mental institution that I believe one of Bundy's relatives was in. And that one I bought for $100 and somebody offered me $500 for it. I mean, it's fucking crazy. But then Elizabeth Kendall came out with a reprint with her and her daughter giving forewords. Oh my God, it's so good. That book, holy shit. Holy shit. Am I allowed to cuss on these? By the way, Cabbage Patch Dolls were the shit. If you have the adoption papers in mint condition, go on eBay right now. Damn, dude. Woo! Cabbage Patch collectors are super into that. First press vinyls. I don't even know if that's worth anything, but that's just sick. That's a good find. I would want that. That's a good thing to find. Dozens of punk rock, because I have a bunch of Tsunami Bomb first presses. Oh my God, that was my favorite band growing up. Tsunami Bomb and anything. Eddie Vedder, I was obsessed with. Nirvana, I was obsessed with. But Eddie Vedder, L7, pretty much anything that was on Lollapalooza, that was my shit. Yes, my child. Do you remember? Was it my buddy, kid, sister? Damn. Cyborg Mama, $100 on eBay? Oh, shit. I'm about to go sell mine. I should go up the road and have Mark fucking autograph them. He lives here. First edition Fountainhead? Listen, I was a Western philosophy minor first go around of school. When I went to school for journalism, graduated. That was my shit, philosophy. I don't care if you like Ayn Rand. I don't care if you don't like her. That's a good fucking find. Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. Say what you will. The woman's mind was wild. And it was a good read for a philosophy student. First edition? I feel like that would be worth something. Gothic Bree, all your Pokemon cards. Oh, you're sitting on a gold mine, girl. Pokemon cards could fund a fucking colony on the moon. My boyfriend had been collecting them since 96. Went back to his mom's one Christmas. He has that Charizard. I'm putting him on blast. He has one of those crazy expensive Charizards. I did not give a fuck what a Charizard was. I don't care what that is. Burn it, I would have said before that day. And then he goes, Google how much this is worth. And I said, I love you. And I love the Charizard. I love the Pokemon. Let's continue collecting these. Bring them home. Yeah. The Charizard, the one that's like There's shadow and not shadow, and shadowless, and one that's from Wizard something, and one that's yeah, no, the one, the the Logan Paul shit, whatever, the one that's like worth a lot. He like has one of those. He has a bunch of like the 98, 96, like the none of them are the Japanese ones. Princess Diana, Beanie Baby, no H Cook. Are those even worth? I feel like didn't they get tanked? Salman Rushdie version of the Satanic what? I mean, I don't care if it's counterfeit. That's like a weird, cool find. I would keep that, dude. Didn't he just get shot? Didn't he die? Was the fatwa still happening? Didn't he get fatwa'd after the fatwa episode of Curb came out? Or a guy tried to attack him at a speech? I don't remember. I think he got fatwa'd. Glitter is forever. Protect your son and protect that Charizard. Protect them. You're going to need that shit for college and a mortgage because that shit's worth a lot of money. Rated a 10. Call Logan Paul. He'll take the call. He'll take it. He'll put your kid at WrestleMania, give him a fucking car. Oh, really? I thought so. The Disney thing with the cassettes, Jules. I just realized I should read y'all's comments so I'm not just reacting to nothing. Oh, thank you for saying I rocked my life. The Disney Black Diamond cassettes. I've seen a lot of people say yes. I think what that is, I don't want to go on a long tangent, but here's the thing. I did some research into that because there were people putting them on eBay for like $10 million, $9 million. And I found out, turns out, there's a big group on the internet, and I wish I could tell you where. I feel like it was not Reddit. It might have been 4chan, but there was a huge group of people who were like, wouldn't it be funny if we pretended there was a boom in Disney VHS and we all marked up our Disney VHS to basically pull like a kind of like they did with GameStop and the stonks, which I fell victim to. Don't fall victim to that shit. With the Weeble and the Robin Hood thing, where they jacked up the price of the good by making a demand where there wasn't. In this instance, they all just agreed to mark all their shit up. And then it made people go, hey, why is that happening? This thing must be really rare. And then dummies would just buy it thinking they got something that they could put on a chain and walk around in the club with and be like, look what I got. And it turns out it's just a fucking VHS of Little Mermaid. So the answer is, I think that's what's going on, because when you run them through the collector sites, that is where you get the sad reality that you might have just paid $200 for something that's worth $3. I can't remember the name, but I'm about to find it. Hold on. This could be very helpful to anybody. It's not Beckett. What is it? Okay, so if it's sports, it's PSA is a grading and authentication service. But there's another one. What's it called? Oh. Here, my clicky computer. I ordered a computer from 1985, brand new, a while back, a keyboard. So it's super clicky. Where is it? Sorry, you guys. I want to get the right one. Is it? It's not TCG. What is it? What is it? Card Maven. If you have, I think it's Card Maven. There was another one. You guys tell me yours. I think it's Card Maven. That's the one. There's one that's a grading system, and one that you can basically go on there and see how much people are trading something for, but it can be anything. It's not just cards. It's like hobbies. I'm going to figure it out. My boyfriend knows the name of it. He has it on his iPhone or something, but I think anybody can have it. I just know that it's an app that he uses, but you can take any product and put it in front of it, and it'll be like, this is worth this much. And I'm like, damn, that's sick. Yeah, I wish I knew. Who called Rock white trash? And did they mean it? Or were they commenting on Rock calling herself that? Who did that? No one calls her. Only Rock is allowed to call herself white trash. Unless she likes you. Someone tell me who said that. I'm gonna fucking come to your house. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna come to your house, but I am gonna kick you out because that's rude. Unless Rock accepts it. Unless Rock is like, listen, I am, and I don't mind being called that. But I feel like if it was insulting, and if Rock did not give permission, and it is not a fun pet thing that they do back and forth, then Rock might say, I'm not. This is insulting. Fuck you. In which case, I will take them out. Yeah, no negativity. Positive vibes, bitches. Messick? She's a bitch? Well, then get her out of here. Who is she? How do I get her out? Be gone, demon. You can't talk shit to Rock. She's my auntie. Get out of here. Where are you? How do I find you? We're going to figure that out. We're going to figure it out. Yeah, shit. We're having fun. Don't fuck it up. The Worth Point app does. I think you have to pay for that, but not bad. Rock is too classy to care. Rock? How high does your pinky go, girl? How classy are you? Are you too classy to care? Get rid of her, please. Ooh, we got 2 people that don't like you, Messick. And it seems that you've been pretty rude to people. I told you we hate hate. We hate on each other, but if we're hating on someone else behind their back, so be it. Don't say it to have the respect to say shit behind our backs. Don't say it to our face. Please. I don't want to. It's not my business what you think of me. Or what you think of Rock. It's not Rock's business what you think of Rock, and it's not my business what you think of me, unless it's positive vibes. Listen, I'm a hypocrite. I'm a human being. We all are. We're going to talk shit sometimes about people. Just not to each other. The second you start shit, you're going to get shit. You feel me, though? Fuck around, find out. Fafo? Rock is our family. Yes. Our family is full of babies all the way up to boomers. And we like all of each other. Sometimes grandma might say some wild shit. It's fine. Sometimes Aunt Cat might say some crazy shit. I might say some crazy shit. If you're willing to say you're sorry, that's fine. We might accept it. We'll see. Fuck around a lot and find out. Is that what that means? Messick. Okay. I'll find you, Messick. I will find you. I can't remember that quote right now, but I was trying to think of Taken. I have a certain set of skills. Where are you, Messick? Is this what the mods are for? This is what the mods do, huh? You go find people? This is fun. And you go up there and you're like, hey, get out of here. You're breaking the rules. This is not Vietnam. There are rules. It's fine. We'll wait until Messick talks some shit again. Talk some shit. Come on. Catch me outside. You're awesome. If anybody talks shit to any of you, I will find where they live and I will go to their house. No, I'm just kidding. Unless they say something real wild, like, I'm fucking Brad Kohberger, I fucking did it. Then I'm going to definitely go there and be like, hey. Not really, but let's see. We'll find him. Don't worry, we'll find him. We'll find him. We'll get him out of here. I want to set up a thing where y'all can just call me so I'm not just gabbing this whole time. I want to hear your crazy stories. I really, really, really just want to be true crime Frasier. I'm not even kidding. I want to be Frasier with a big Polish forehead, bad eyebrows. I just want to sit here. I want to hear all your shit. I want to hear all your problems. And I want to go, that makes me feel pissed. You know? Nick got swatted. Who's that? Love to you all. Back to my trailer. Yeah, fuck that, Rock. Just because we live in a trailer for some of our lives, just because we a little bit trashy doesn't mean you could call us trailer trash. You can call me trailer trash. I don't give a fuck, but I don't think it's nice to call someone that to be mean. Rickettetta? Nick Rickettetta? That's that guy who was on coke, right? Man. So glad I'm allergic to coke. It makes me sneeze. But no, not really. I've never done it, but I've never done it because remember how I told you I had that dog bite? It fucking the dog tooth went through back here. There's a huge hole, and I get sinus infections like crazy. So even if I wanted to be crazy and go through that snort ski phase, never did it. Too scared. The beautiful portrait back there. Talk about Keith. That's Keith Morrison from Dateline. He's my dad. Not really, but I love him. He watches over me. We'll get your ass in the Wayback Machine. This one right here is called Red Lips, I think. I don't remember. It's a celebrity. And one of my gays, his name's Jamie. He's fabulous. He's going to come on here one time and he's going to tell you guys about some crazy South Carolina shit and crazy LA stories. He used to date a guy from The Real World season 1. Mm-hmm. And also Flea showed up at his house naked once. Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. He was like, you want to come in and party? And Jamie's like, this is my house. And then one time he saw Matthew Perry making out with a chick one morning outside of his apartment. He used to live across the street from Pat Ast of Andy Warhol glory and fame. Anyway, he was looking out the window and it was Matthew Perry making out with some lady of the net. And then that morning, Matthew Perry got married. And he tells the best stories. He's seen some shit. He he helped work on, he worked at Mattel and like he helped make dolls. He made the Rosie O'Donnell Mattel Barbie. He was one of those people. What a badass dude. Actually, Matthew Perry's dad is Keith Morrison. Good point. Patronus Glow. See how we bring it back around? That was wild. That really did. Time is a flat circle. What? Number 2 from Star Trek. See, this is why I gotta get a phone line open here. I want to hear, who did your dad date? Who did your mom date? Who stinks? He told me, the reason I bring that up is he also told me Brad and Jen smell like shit. I was like, what? And then I met other people who knew them in LA. And anytime I bring up a celebrity, it's just because I do comedy. It's never like I hung out with them. It's always like I was near them in their vicinity. And this is my impression because I very rarely approach. I'm like, oh, I have shit to say to you. I don't like, what is it? Mitch Hedberg said, Peter Frampton, I ain't got shit to say to you. You just get uncomfortable and look down. But yeah, he told me that they didn't bathe a lot. And I was like, what the fuck? And then some other comics told me the same thing. And I was like, no. Okay. So Megan, here's what I'm thinking about that. The 2000, 2004 did not get enough time to look at it. Looked into it some. There are a couple, I don't want to say who they are yet because I literally gathered the Megans, but I did it 2 ways. Actual name Megan and trade name Megan. Like if you're a sex worker, you have and by the way, this is because Cindy asked, what about your info on missing people or anyone who is turned up no longer alive, named or using the alias of Megan from 2000 2004? One of the things I wanted to keep in mind was his profile. He had already put in there skinny, or he liked him small. Also, Megan as a working girl name and Megan as their name. Simultaneously, the other one, it seemed like he wanted an African-American woman. So we have to keep that in mind as T2 with the question mark. Just because he put question mark doesn't mean he didn't have someone in mind. It could have meant that he didn't know her name or that he was just going to order someone, because you can order people sometimes based on features. So there are a lot, to be honest. A lot of girls used, and that says if you're considering their working name, a lot of girls use any name that ends in like a Y or an I, like a Becky, a Cindy, a this, a that, the other. You wouldn't think Megan would be a common one, but it kind of was in the 90s and the early 2000s. Jessica, very common. Vanessa, very common. Jennifer, very common. Usually they go by Jenny though. I also wanted to look up Meg. Also variations, spellings. So when you do that and you're going through old escort ads or like reverse cross referencing them, you're going to pull a lot. And you can't just do from after or from before that. You have to do a little after too, because when he wrote that might have been before he did it. You feel me? So it's a big, big birth of knowledge of different names. And also, if for some reason one of them isn't in any way a possibility, I just don't want to give out those names yet because like if one of them isn't a possibility, I don't want to dox someone. If I have any that might be good, you know, I might bring them to you. I might tip them in and then make sure it's okay to bring them to you. Things about Rex, I'm probably gonna just now that I know how to live stream because this was a trial, I want to hit on Rex a little, not hit on Rex. Ugh, gross. I don't want to hit on Shreky Woods. I do want to say a few things about him before we go, but I probably actually need to go. What is this? Oh, is that Jay? Jay True Crime? Did you text me? Thank you. I appreciate you. Because I do have to go soon. We gotta take the doggy out on walkies. Let me see. Okay, so the thing about Rex that I do want to talk about, can one dox a missing person like it? Well, no, but you don't want, I guess by dox, what I mean is I don't want to put out misinformation. I don't want to say like, hey, it could be this person, and then everybody's bothering their family, and then it turns out that person was found, or they already have a suspect that they know did it, and they just need the evidence, and you're just bringing up a bunch of pain for them again. You know what I mean? Simultaneously, anytime you find anything that's a good lead, instead of putting it out on your YouTube channel, you should tip it in first. Then make sure it's cool, then put it out. I'm not one of those people who's going to break a case open live. Sorry if that's what you're here for. If we do and it happens or we find something that's useful, would love to call it. I'd probably just be like, hey guys, be right back, and then go do it. I don't know what I do, but like, yeah, I'm not going to I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, the question mark. Yeah. I think that there are ways that we can do it to where it's safe because again, like if I say, oh, it could be this Megan, you know what I mean? Like this could be the Megan that we're talking about. And let's say that Megan was with her boyfriend at the time and he was very abusive and the family knows for a fact that he did it, but you know, for some reason he hasn't given it up and they've been through it with the police and the police are really like there's no communication there. And or let's say there is and they know that he did it and they're currently working to try to get him to fess up somehow or to find stuff and they don't want him to know that they're like there's so many reasons I wouldn't want to put a name out that I'm not certain Rex was stalking. And simultaneously, if it couldn't have been him and the family knows things that we don't, and then we put that out there, and then some conspiracy nut fucks from Florida pick it up, and I say Florida because those are the ones that seem to be the biggest. No offense to people from Florida, but these bitches who are into conspiracy specifically in Florida seem to be the worst at taking it and not only monopolizing and making money off of it at the expense of family members, but putting out false information. They might ride with it, put some shit out that's not true. Then before you know it, the family's getting calls and harassed and people are assholes. And sometimes people will go to their page and go, did you know your daughter was killed by a serial killer? And then some of them might not have seen the coverage and they're like, who's Rex? What did he do to our kid? And then they have to take a day off while they have a fucking panic attack because all these strangers just got worked up on the internet because they saw a weird stream. No, I don't want to do that. This is just how I feel. But if I maybe narrow down, these are 20 Megans, you know, that it could be. And, you know, let's say I do tip it in the cops are like, we don't give a shit. Okay, fine. That's when you go live with it. You feel me? Just have to be really, really careful, especially with this stuff. Jeanette, you're the best. See what I mean? Like, just because you're from Florida doesn't mean you're crazy. Just the craziest I've seen have been there. So I'm sorry that you live among them. I know you're fucking level headed. I've talked to you a bunch. There are the two worst that I've seen. They're the ones that peddle the David Solomon shit on TikTok. They're literally raising money for a guy who is currently trafficking a woman and her son. And she's pretending to be a trafficking survivor while actively getting trafficked. It's insane. We're going to talk about it one day. I've already talked about it a lot. Yeah, I don't think her real name, it could not be Megan. Megan could be someone he saw, and maybe it's someone that he wants who looks like someone named Megan, There's just so much into it. The whole point about me talking about Douglas earlier is it's really strange to me that he seemed to take notes from Douglas's book and almost do the opposite to throw Douglas off. Like he thinks they were having this communication, they weren't. And if you ever read The Case That Haunts Me or any of his behavioral analysis literature that's on the FBI site for free, there's times in here, and I will take the time to like pick it apart and show you. There are times in here in the Rex Heuermann bail application where it shows the lists where it's almost like he's responding to exact things that Douglas wrote in order. It's very strange. It's like he read a book the first time, and instead of taking notes in the book, he like took notes on his computer of what to look out for. And it kind of goes in order of some of the chapters of two, not even chapters, they're like subsections of these two specific ones that Douglas wrote for the FBI. It's really crazy. Yeah, it's really nuts. What was that? Sorry, I'm going back to look up. Oh yeah, and another thing, did you notice he puts even dice instead of evidence? And what's weird is like, I don't know, it reminds me of the paradise thing with the Zodiac. I don't think there's anything there, but it is interesting to me that he chose. I don't know if he chose actually that he just misspelled that. Also, you can tell it's old because there's no spell correct. He does spell torture in the European way. Makes me wonder if because he works in New York, he absolutely 100% has an education. We know that. He spells a couple of things wrong in our eyes, but then when you look it up, sometimes it's a European spelling, and it makes me wonder, has he posted ads or anything in Europe while he was visiting? Like, why would you ever need to type anything in a European way? You know what I mean? Like, or a spelling, like how they spell color with a U, stuff like that. It's just interesting. Platic bag. He forgot the S and then added an S in the other one. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. It's just interesting because for being someone who's trying to be thorough, he's typing this in a hurry. It makes me wonder. One of the things that's interesting, I think, to a lot with the behavioral profile of a lot of serial killers seems to be that they enjoy the prep more than the activity sometimes. And I feel like right now he's frantically typing and sweating. I feel like this is the part he likes. I really do. I think it's the prep leading up to it. Because so rarely do you have this much. And not only does he have this much, he did some Dexter shit. He wrote underneath the walls using something that like this guy studied like all spectrums of true crime. He studied forensics without bragging about. It's just very strange. Remember he told that one girl he likes to listen to true crime podcasts? It's just odd that everything seems to be in a very specific order that relates to some of Douglas's literature. I do wonder, someone said this earlier, I do wonder if how John Douglas feels about this. I would love to see him talk about it. I in no way think it's his fault though. If anybody thinks that, just get that out of your head. I don't think that. That's like saying like, oh, it's the woman's fault for cheating on him or for breaking up with him that this shit happened. No, this psycho chose to do this shit. Don't blame her. I mean, if she knew during the prep, blame her. But like, let's not, you know what I mean? If she knew he was going to do this and it was going to affect other people, she should have spoke up. But like if a woman, you know what I mean? Like if someone attacks someone, they'll go, "Oh, what did she do?" It kind of feels a little bit like that with the whole John Douglas thing, I think, or he might feel that way. I don't think that it had anything to do with him. I think Rex wanted to do this for a long fucking time. I think he might have obsessed over Douglas, which frankly, I don't blame him because Douglas is an amazing, amazing teacher and person, and he's just really fucking good at what he does. I think he did have the book, right? Wasn't it part of the raid? His book about Jean Bonnet, yeah. I know someone who went to school with Burke. They know him pretty well. He's a sweetheart. It's really sad. A lot of people blame that kid. Okay. Let me see. Hey, you're welcome for being so responsible, Monica. I'm just trying. I'm a Nutarian in Central California. What's that? What's a Nutarian? You eat nuts? Are they delicious? Do you like macadamia? I went to a macadamia nut farm in Hawaii and it was sick. And if that's not what it means, ignore what I just said. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. Great chat. Architects are bad sellers, y'all. What does that mean? He can't spell. Maybe it's those fat thumbs. Maybe, dude. Not the shoot. How do forensic computer people? Did you hear me, Judge Bev? Because I'm so tired. How do forensic computer people recover deleted data? So it's a little complicated. It's very complicated because it depends on what you mean. I guess if you mean computer, different than phone. Phones have things like wall LAN data and all the shit that's stored. Computers, I guess the best way to explain it is, have you ever gone to reset a computer before selling it? That's basically the same as what Stefan did with his phone. Remember how he factory reset his phone? You can factory reset or reboot your computer. I remember some of them, it was like the old one was at F8 or something on launch. Like there's different ways to do it depending on the computer. But you remember how there used to not be on Windows where it would say restore it to a specific date. It would say like access point, or you would have to do a backup recovery file. Remember that? So now the way a lot of the features are set up and they're embedded in hardware on computers, even going back to really the early 2000s, those data points, those backup points can be running in the background naturally for you. And then you can ensure that specific things are backed up that aren't by default. And in those instances, your computer's kind of always collecting data, be it mapping or not. And if you ever did a thing where it says, do you mind if Microsoft shares this information because your shit wasn't working right? You know, let's say for some reason your Wi-Fi won't connect and then you troubleshoot it and then it works and it goes, hey, do you mind if we share this? Or if, let's say, you have your Windows Defender running all the time, or your security settings are to just scan when it's appropriate or to auto update. All those options are taking information and not only storing it in your hard drive, but they're also reporting it back to Microsoft. And just like on your iPhone, you have a big cloud that stores everything you do. On Google products, window products, all sorts of, be it browser all the way to actual like service providers, and then your actual fucking Windows or whatever you use, all those things are constantly storing data and they're sharing it with each other to function. Especially if you have a phone that has like Chrome and it's also a Google phone. If you have a Microsoft product. Oh shit, hold on guys. I think my boyfriend's home, so I have to end this. Hold on, babe. Let's let him in. Hey, I'm doing a live right now. You're live. Oh, hi. He's a goofball. Do you want to say hi? People are watching. I don't know how many. I'm explaining to them how to find our shit on computers. You don't want to say hi? Don't glare. They can see your arm. There you go.
Oh, Patronus glow.
Yeah,
Oh, you got a cowboy in there?
I got Keith Morrison too.
Hey there, Star Z. How you doing?
Hey there. Hi, hey
Hey,
there.
you're
That's
a
Dylan.
man, a cyborg? Damn.
Damn, a cyborg. Hey, boyfriend. Dang old shit, fuck bang. Does it mean you eat a ton of nuts? I don't know. Babe, what's a Natarian? Is it a religion? If it is, I'm going to feel terrible. I'm so sorry. Anyway, data backup access points. Basically, your computer, your phone, all that shit has them. Thank you so much. He's cuter than me. He just chopped his beard off. This is so rare. I can't believe you guys saw him like that. His beard's always there, and then it was gone one day. And the dog's not scared of it anymore. He's super into his diddy. He licks his knees. Oh, did you mean Unitarian and I read it Nuttarian? I'm so sorry. I think you spelled it Nuttarian. That's not on me. He is handsome. Ooh, Swifty Sue thinks you're handsome. Ooh. He just got home. The doggy has to give him kisses and rip up toys for him. Anyway, your computer stores all that shit. And then when you go to back it up, you can choose an access point. And if you choose to just swipe it from the beginning, it might tell you it's going to delete files, but that's just like your cache data and your stuff that's inside of your what do you call it? Stored inside of like your cloud and all your online stuff. But then you've got, if you have a Microsoft account, if you have a Google, it's also mapping, it's storing. And so if you go back it up from whatever access point, that doesn't really delete all the other backup points. So you have to be real careful if you're selling a computer to make sure to get all your shit off there, because I mean, really short of ripping out the motherboard and tossing it out the window, you know, there is a really good chance that no matter how many times you reboot it, your shit's still there. And there are different ways to go back and acquire different information. People think that their stuff gets taken down off, social media all the time. And then they found out about the Wayback Machine. They went, but there was a time when you could get on Reddit and you could type in UN before. Oh, hold on one second. Listen, if you go look at the video game in the bedroom, that was my bad. I accidentally turned on a gaming controller in the living room, and it picked it up in the bedroom, and it stopped your guy from spinning. Yeah, and your cheat code didn't work, and I'm sorry. But I'm not going to blame the dog. That was me. That was 100% me. It did? Oh, so it must have finished, and then I fucked it up. Excellent. Amazing. Okay, anyway, sorry. I mean, formatting the hard drive sometimes, but even then, it's like when you see fingernails and they look clean, but then you get close in a microscope and there's just little chum-chums in there, and it's like, ooh, I thought I got it all. There's stuff that gets stored both on your hardware, in your computer, and then there's stuff that gets stored offline in other parts of your accounts. And it's the stuff that's in your computer forever that, yes, some people can still get to. Again, just like they say if you really want someone to not track you, if someone's tracking you, take the battery out. I mean, with the computer, it's take the battery and the hard drive out. It's the only way. I mean, you're never going to get rid of everything, 100%. Yeah, I won't blame the dog. I said it wasn't the dog. It was me. I love you guys too. Nutarian. What is that? Is that a religion or is it an eating thing? You're cleaning the house now because the dogs are sleeping, but it's all ones and zeros. So no, sometimes it's not ones and zeros. Binary. That's funny. What's wild is the Russians used to do it using pixelations that they would put in floral pictures, and then those pictures would be uploaded to a flower calendar website, and then the metadata would have tiny bits of information that had to be put together in a code. It's like that, but on a way larger scale. So like how a codec will sometimes help you put together an audio or a video file. Same situation with metadata. There's all sorts of data in your computer that can be broken up and put together at different times and zipped up and then taken out and moved around. And then there's some that you can make go bye-bye. And it's really hard to make it all go bye-bye. A nutarian, a person whose food intake consists chiefly of nuts or nut-based products or dishes. Do you have good poops? That's all I want to know. As long as you're all having good poops, I'm happy for you. And I support your choices. But if you turn blue or your poops hurt, I must insist you do better. You owe it to yourselves. Okay. Well, listen, you guys, I have to go. I have to go eat delicious Chinese food with my loved ones. Don't look up Notarian. Okay. Okay. Trust me, I've looked up goat sea hunt. I've seen it, and don't look that up. All right. I love you guys. This has been so much fun. I'm going to get a phone situation hooked up so I can be True Crime Frasier. And we'll get, I promise you, Bree, you can be my Roz. Or who is it? What's the name of the dude on Frasier? The sports guy, babe? Pitbull? What's his name? Bulldog? The one who talks like this. Pitbull. You can be my Pitbull. That's not his name, but we'll call you that. All right. Good night. We love you guys. Let's see if I can actually end the stream right. I think I'm doing it right. Be safe. Jibless. You're the best. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about Rex. Tonight, this was just figuring this shit out. I know I can share a screen now. And tomorrow night, I'm going to give shout outs. And I love you guys. And you're the best. And yeah, just, you know, if you like it, like it. If you don't like it, criticize me below. Call me names. I don't care. Whoever threatened Rock Chalk will fucking find you. Also, what else? I'll put in the description below when I post this, I'll put like all my social shit because I forgot I got an Instagram for you guys. So I'll put that in there. If you want to buy me a coffee, you can. You don't have to. If you do, I'm going to spend it on treats for my dog. Which, by the way, Bertha, you bought him some bacon nutties. Janice and Jim, love you guys. Also, I'm just going to throw this out there before I leave. If you've had an experience using DHEA or any weird supplements or those Thrive patches, if you've had a bad experience or you've got some shit you want to talk, email me. You hear him crying? He wants his mommy. Email me. But yeah, I'm going to put all the socials below. I'll put all my contact stuff. You guys can verbally harass me there. I love you. Be good. Good night. Oh my God, Mikos. Bye.